Okay, so example A, rewriting an equation in general form, write each equation in general form. So example A, as you can see, we have negative 2/3. Well, we can't have a fraction there. So what we are going to do is we are going to get rid of the fraction. Okay, so we're going to multiply everything we have by my lowest common denominator, which is 3. So I'm multiplying each term by 3. So that is 3y equals negative 2 times 3, which is, negative 6x over 3, plus 4 times 3, which is 12. So remember, when we multiply fractions, I'll just do it on the side here. This is negative 2/3 x times 3, times being this little dot. We're multiplying straight across the top, straight across the bottom. So negative 2 times 3 is negative 6, and 3 times 1 is 3. So that's where I'm getting this negative 6 over 3. Okay, that's where I'm getting that from. All right, so we're going to simplify in this step. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. And then if I go back, it says A is a whole number. So A is always in front of X. So this is not a whole number because it's an integer, it has a negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything to the right-hand side. So I'm going to add 2x and minus 12, and I'm going to add 2x and I'm going to minus 12. So that means that everything on the right-hand side equals 0. Then on the left-hand side, I have 2x plus 3y minus 12. So I just rewrote it leading with the 2x, keep the y in the middle, and the constant, the negative 12, goes in last. That is general form. So B and C can be integers. A has to be a whole number. All right, if we take a look at D, I'm going to skip B because my real number system is in the way. And C is very similar to A, so let's try D. So for D, the first thing I'm going to do is multiply that fraction in. We're just going to simplify the equation a little bit before we get rid of the fraction. So times 3 over 2x minus... Now remember, when we multiply fractions, I'm just going to show you up here what happens. If you want, just put it in your calculator, but you can do it algebraically. So we multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom, and I just put 4 over 1 so that it makes it easier for me to see straight across the top, straight across the bottom. It doesn't change the number 4 at all. 4 over 1 is just the exact same thing as 4. So 3 times 4 is 12, 2 times 1 is 2, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. There we go. All right, now I am going to simplify a little bit more. So in order to do that, I'm going to subtract 2. So that's y is equal to 3 over 2x minus 8. And then I'm going to multiply everything by my lowest common denominator, this 2 here, because I have a fraction. I need to get rid of that fraction. So I'm just making an equivalent equation. So I'm multiplying everything by 2. Negative 8 by 2, 3 over 2 by 2, and y by 2. So this becomes 2y is equal to, now again, I'm just going to do this on the side, 3 over 2 times it by 2. That becomes 6 over 2, which is 3. Okay, so this is 3x minus, and then negative 8 times 2, which is 16. All right, I'm very close to being done. I have 3 as a whole number, a positive number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the y. So I'm going to subtract 2y from both sides. That gives me 0, and I'm just going to sandwich the y in between the x and the constant. Okay, let's try example 2. Graphing a line in general form. So determine the x and y intercepts of the line whose equation is 3x plus 2y minus 18 equals 0, and then graph the line. So what we're going to do, I'm going to make a t-chart. So I'm going to say the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So remember, the x-intercept, I always like to write underneath that y is equal to 0 at the x-intercept, and the y-intercept, x is equal to 0. So I'm going to use my equation here. And I'm just going to replace y with 0 to find the x-intercept. So that's 3x plus 2 times 0 minus 18 equals 0. So 3x, now 2 times 0 is 0, and I'm going to add 18 to both sides. So that gives me 18. Then to solve for x, I divide both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 18 divided by 3 is 6. So x is equal to 6. So this point is 6 and 0. Okay, x-intercept, my y value will always be 0. So if you need to write that down, just to remind yourself, it's very important and you see it over and over and over again. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 0. So that's my x-intercept. So I'm going to use a different color. Let's find the y-intercept. So x is 0 at the y-intercept. So 3 times 0 plus 2 times y minus 18 equals 0. 3 times 0 is 0. Positive 2y, I'm going to add 18 to both sides. So that gives me 18. 2 is multiplying y. The opposite is dividing. So I divide both by 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Again, this point, my x is 0. My y is 9. So reminder, x value is 0 at y-intercept. Okay, so 0 and 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I draw a line through it. So graphing a line, I'm going to go back to pink. There, awesome. So I'm going to let you do 2 by yourself because it is the same as example 1. All right, example 3, determine the slope of a given line, slope of a line given its equation in general form. So unfortunately, when an equation is in general form, we can't tell what the slope is. So we are going to change it into slope y-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope. Okay, so I'm going to just rewrite the equation, 3x minus 2y minus 16 equals 0. And I want to rearrange this equation for, well, not the whole of 2y. Let's try that again. Just for y. All right, so I'm adding, this is a positive 3x, so I'm going to subtract 3x. And I'm subtracting 16, so I'm going to add 16. So I'm going to move those first, negative 3x plus 16. Whatever I do on the left, I need to do on the right. So negative 2y is equal to negative 3x plus 16. Now negative 2 is multiplying the y. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I divide every single term by negative 2. Negative 3 divided by negative 2, we would just keep it as 3 over 2, but it would become positive because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Positive 16 divided by negative 2 is a negative 8. So from here, I can tell that my slope is positive 3 over 2. All right, let's skip down. We'll do D together. So we have 6x plus 2y minus 15 equals 0. So I'm going to subtract 6x, add 15. Whatever I do to the left, I do to the right. And on the left, I'm left with 2y. And on the right, I have negative 6x plus 15. 2 is multiplying the y. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I divide each term. Sorry, not by negative 2, by positive 2. So y is equal to negative 6 divided by 2, which is negative 3. X, 15 divided by 2. Now you can leave it as 15 divided by 2, or you can write it as 7.5. Either way, it's the exact same thing. Okay, that's it.